The Inside Track with music psychologist Dr. Siu-Lan Tan.
Billy Wilder's film, The Lost Weekend, begins with a panoramic shot of the New York City skyline, and then we pan over to a window where we see a man who's packing a suitcase. My colleague Oliver Vituk used this scene in a research study and asked these three questions. What could this man be thinking? What are his life circumstances? And what could happen next? He showed some participants this scene with the original score composed by Miklos Rozsa, which goes like this. Viewers tended to give narratives with positive themes. For instance, one wrote, "The man is in a good mood, has a secure and well-paid job, and is just preparing a candlelit dinner for his new love." Then they go for a walk and explore the beauties of the city. Other participants were shown the same scene, but with this music. Those who watched this version tended to give more negatively toned narratives. One wrote, "He's packing his luggage to leave this town. The city looks depressing, without a perspective for the future. The miserable everyday life in New York." You may recognize this music as Barber's Adagio for Strings, a classical piece used in Platoon, Lorenzo's Oil, and many other films. Interestingly, even the mood of the city and the weather seem to change somewhat with the music. With Rozsa's original score, some participants wrote, "It's a nice, warm autumn day with leaves on the streets. Lovely weather, beautiful surroundings." Whereas with Barber's alternate music, participants described the same scene as, "The city looks depressing, gloomy surroundings. The pan shot over the city, whole gray and desperate, invoked a feeling of loneliness." The film is shot in black and white, and the cityscape looks a little overcast in the background. But as we pan across a building in the foreground, it looks like it may be bathed in sunlight. It's interesting that each music track seemed to play up one of these elements. So in this study, the music didn't just shape the narrative about the man's life, but also colored viewers' impressions of New York City, which is like a character in many movies. It brings to mind the opening sequence of Woody Allen's Manhattan, where shots of the same New York City skyline are shown, but now accompanied by this music. With Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, the New York skyline looks majestic, powerful, and grand. Lastly, here's another memorable New York opening, Saturday Night Fever. This time we don't hear any music at first, only views of New York City with the sounds of traffic and the subway. And then we see John Travolta strutting down a street in Brooklyn. His well-shined shoes stepping to the beat of Stayin' Alive. Vituk's intriguing study shows that music can frame opening scenes in quite different ways, building different expectations for what's going to happen, shaping our impressions of characters we meet, and even coloring our perceptions of the environments where these stories and characters live.
Dr. Siu-Lan Tan is a leading researcher in the study of film music and the author of many books, including her latest, Psychology of Music, From Sound to Significance, available now at score-movie.com/podcast.